Dear students, today we are going to discuss about Hartley oscillator, which will be conducted in the software called Multisim. The version which I am going to use in Hartley oscillator to conduct is Multisim 11.0. Okay, let's start with the explanation about Hartley oscillator. This is the circuit diagram which you are seeing. This is a circuit diagram for Hartley oscillator. So this is the experiment which I already conducted in Multisim software. Let's go with the explanation. So in Hartley oscillator, the oscillation frequency is determined by the tank circuit. You can see the tank circuit, which consists of L and C. So the LC circuit, which you are observing there, the two inductors and one capacitor is called tank circuit. The inductors are connected in a series and the capacitor is connected across them in parallel. Okay, you can see that. Hartley oscillators are commonly used in radio frequency oscillator applications, and the recommended frequency range is from 20 kilohertz to 30 megahertz. Okay, 30 kilohertz to 20 kilohertz to 30 megahertz. Hartley oscillator can operate at the frequency lower than 20 kilohertz, but for lower frequencies, the inductor value need to be high and it has to be practical limit. The circuit diagram already showed here. You can see the circuit diagram. In the circuit diagram, you can see that R1 and R2 give the potential divide bias for the transistor Q1, where RE is a emitter resistor whose job is to provide thermal stability for the transistor. Its their job is to provide thermal stability to the device. The CE is the emitter bypass capacitor which bypasses the amplified AC signal. If the emitter bypass capacitor is not there, the amplified AC voltage will drop across RE and it will be added onto the base emitter voltage of Q1 and will disrupt the biasing conditions. And the capacitor can see at the end, that is Cin, that is a DC coupling capacitor, while Cout is a output DC decoupling capacitor. The task of DC decoupling capacitor is to prevent DC voltage from reaching the succeeding stage. Inductor L1 and L2 and capacitor C1 forms a tank circuit. Already I said about this. When the power supply is switched on, the transistor starts conducting and the collector current increases. As a result, the capacitor C1 starts charging, and when the capacitor C1 is fully charged, it starts discharging through the coil L1. This charging and discharging creates a series of damped oscillation in the tank circuit, and this is the key point here. The oscillation produced by the tank circuit is coupled to the base of the Q1, that is the transistor, and it appears in the amplified form across the collector and emitter of the transistor. The output voltage of the transistor will be in phase with the voltage across the inductor L1. Since the junction of the two inductor is grounded, the voltage across L2 will be 180 degree out of phase to the voltage across L1. Okay. The voltage across L2 is actually fed to the base of the transistor. From this, we can see that the feedback voltage is 180 degree out of phase with the transistor, and also transistor itself creates another 180 degree phase difference. So the total phase difference between the input and output is 360 degree. And it is very important condition for creating a sinusoidal signal, that is sustained oscillations, we can call it as. Okay, this is with respect to the Barkhusen's criteria. What actually the Barkhusen's criteria says, a linear system will provide a sustained oscillation only at a frequencies for which the gain around the feedback loop is 1 and the phase shift around the feedback loop is 0 or integral multiple of 2 pi. Okay, so if you go with the formula of the Hartley oscillator, the frequency F of a Hartley oscillator can be expressed as F is equal to 1 by 2 pi LC, where C is a capacitance of the capacitor in the tank circuit, L is L1 plus L2, the effective series inductance of inductor L1 and L2 in the tank circuit. Here the coil L1 and L2 are assumed to be winded on the different cores. If they are winded on the single core, then L is equal to L1 plus L2 plus 2M. Okay, that I have not given here. Just we'll consider it as L1 plus L2. Okay. So next we'll go. This is what the explanation. So here we have considered the design part. We have considered some R1 as 33K and R2 as 10K. You can look at this details which is there in the manual. Then RE we are considered 500 ohms. RC is 2 kilo ohms. The capacitor is 4.7 by microfarad. Okay, this is what the design is included. Now let's start with the multi-sim. Let's do with a multi-sim. Next, I'm going to share the multi-sim software. Okay, so first go with the design, new design. So here I've taken and name it as save as. I'm finding my drive, sorry for that delay. Multi-sim. Already I've conducted this experiment, so I'll make it as 2 and save it. Now let's start accumulating all the components. First I'll go with the basics one. Basic resistor. I need 4 resistors. Then 4 capacitors. Then inductors. And 1 transistor. That is BC107BP. That will place it here. And I need sources. Then ground. I need 1 ground. I'll take 1 more ground. Okay. Now all the components are there. Now I'll rotate this resistor to 90° clockwise, and similarly these two. I'll rotate it 90°. Then I'll move this side. I'll connect this to the VCC. Next I'll connect this to the, before connecting it I'll place this resistor. Then I'll connect this to ground. Then I'll connect this one. We'll connect this to ground. So I'm going to say I've created an amplifier circuit now. Then I need a coupling capacitor across the collector part, and I need 1 more coupling capacitor across the base. I'll connect it here. Now I'll connect this across the collector. Now it is done. Next, design this. Join together. Next, I'll take this capacitor, place it here. So to create a tank circuit, next, this is going to be like this. Now, I need a ground connection, so I'll create a junction at this point and take out. Now, okay. Now, what is the next step? Or take an extra. Yes, this capacitor should be connected here. I'll rotate the 90 degree clockwise and we'll make it to be this and to connect it to ground. Okay, down now. What we'll do, I'll connect this inductor here and I'll connect to this. Okay, now almost my circuit is ready now. Now with charge changing the values, I'll double click on this. It's going to be 0.47 microfarad. Next, this is going to be 200 microhenry. About 70 ohms, and this is going to be 4.7 microfarad, and this is going to be 33 kilo ohms, and this is going to be 12 volts PC supply, 12 volts, and next capacitor 0.1 microfarad, and this is going to be 1K. Yes, I'm almost done with the values. Yes. Okay. Now I take out this oscilloscope and place it here. So first I'll connect this to ground. I have taken channel A, and now I have to connect this output end. Maybe to put this here. Okay. Okay, now it's done. Students, I'm ready with the circuit. Then I'll name it as, I'll going to place a text here to write hard plate oscillator. Okay. Let's check the sustained oscillation will be obtained in this circuit. Double click on this. Now run. Click on run. Okay, some signal we are able to see here. Now I change scale. Yes, we're getting it. Yes. So can you observe this oscillations? Okay. Okay. This is how the execution takes place in case of multi-sim software. The circuit which we designed is for Hartley oscillator. Okay. So this is how the design should be done. Okay, students, thank you. Already this case is there in this, so just look into it. Okay, okay, thank you so much.